So the Utah Jazz are bad right now. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've been a streaky team all year. They had a really, really good run at some point, and they've kind of squandered that since. They're a game up on the 7th-seeded Mavs, who got Luka back. So we have to assume they're going to get it going a little bit. Tough spot for Utah. There was, of course, the moment of they're going to have Mike Conley come off the bench. Then they decided on Ingles instead. Don't know if that was Quinn Snyder changing his mind, if that was a politics decision by the front office to be like, no, we're paying this guy too much to have him come off the bench. Don't really know. I mean, to me, the best lineup for them is Mitchell, Ingles, Royce O'Neal, Gobert, and Bogdanovic. And the Conley thing has been talked about a lot, including by me for the video that not a lot of people saw because I had to take it down because of the Ingles switch. But basically it's, maybe Conley's lost a step. He has been hurt, so we got to count on that as well. Getting the ball a little bit less, and then, just not as much space with Gobert as opposed to Marc Gasol. And if you swap that out for Royce O'Neal, then I think you're making a little bit more sense because it's one less guy who needs the ball, and Royce is their go-to on-ball defender. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'10", wingspan, pretty athletic guy. He's strong too, so that to me just makes a lot of sense with the fit of the team, whereas with Conley it makes it a little awkward. As far as where do the Jazz go from here, I mean, I'm sure that they will turn it around. I think their schedule is pretty light coming up here, and okay, fine. But if we look more towards the postseason and all that, like, how can the Jazz really be a frightening team? I mean, right now they'd be seeing the Clippers in round 1, and I would pick the Clippers to win that series, even with their chemistry problems, assuming they were healthy. I guess a question I have about Utah is, are their problems just about Conley, or are there other things as well? I think something that's kind of interesting is that their defensive rating, even with Gobert, in the last 15 games has been bad. It's 114. For the season overall, it's still great, but I don't know. Can Gobert be better? I mean, we all know his limitations on offense. Even so, he finds a way to still be a positive offensive player, but is there a chance he should just be more dominant? As in just being more of a physical force, I guess, whether that's sealing guys off right underneath the basket, or again attacking the offensive glass more, or just, I don't know, just being a really physical 7-footer who just kind of does what he wants on both baskets, offensive and defensive. I mean, I know the guy's not a great post-up player, but it's not like he can't make anything from around there besides what's created for him, Mitchell, on the other hand, is doing about everything he can. He's dropped 30 in 3 straight games on amazing efficiency, and even before that, he was playing pretty well in February, so I think you could argue Mitchell's the one keeping the team afloat right now. I mean, Bojan has been up and down. I mean, he's shooting 6 threes a game in February. I feel like he should be shooting more. Like in January, he was attempting 8 a game. In December, it was 7. So a few more a game could probably be good for him. And, Clarkson's been solid as well. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just where I fall on. It's just maybe just reduce role for Conley, and that's it. I mean, I don't know what other drastic thing you could do at this point in the season. I mean, they already made their move with Clarkson, and it's not like Gobert is going to learn how to shoot threes tomorrow, so yeah. I guess projecting towards the postseason now for this team, the thing is we don't know if they're going to be the 5th seed, 7th seed, maybe the 4th seed if they really get it going. Don't know. I mean, if they meet the Rockets in round 1, I think I would pick Houston, because I just don't think Gobert would find a way to be the great defensive player in that series. I mean, I feel like they might have to attempt some crazy zone defense, because, like, how else are you going to get Gobert to actually chill around the basket and protect the rim against that team. It's a tough call against that Houston team, you know? Because, I mean, if it's not that, then it's you put him on Westbrook and you sag off and you dare him to take jumpers, and, I mean, maybe you can win with that, but Westbrook is playing out of his mind right now. If we look at the Jazz versus the Clippers, again, I would pick the Clippers mainly off of talent alone. I mean, it's not like they look like some great team with a bunch of chemistry either, but shot making is shot making. I also think with the amount of switchability the Clippers have, that could bother the Jazz, because Mitchell is still the one dude who can really go off the dribble and do stuff. If they met the Nuggets, I think that one would be interesting. The conversation of, like, can Gobert defend Jokic at all inside the three-point line would be kind of big, and maybe Jokic would have to take more jumpers. That one would be kind of cool, and I could picture, like, a matchup thing for why the Jazz would have a chance there. I mean, I don't want to act like they have no chance against anybody. I mean, for everything I'm saying, they're 2 games worse than the Rockets. They're 4 games worse than the Nuggets. Like, you know, it's still the Western Conference at the end of the day, but they're definitely in a tough spot right now. And the thing is it's like, I'm trying to find ways in which you could get Conley going more, but I genuinely don't know what it is. Like, if he is going to be slower, and if he's not going to be able to deal with the spacing not being as good, I don't know what you do. Like, do you just have him shoot a crap ton of threes and focus on defense all day? I mean, yeah, it would be disappointing based on what you thought you were getting, but I feel like you just got to try to make the best of the situation at this point. I mean, if Conley just devoted all his energy to those 2 areas, basically being like a super 3-and-D guy, because it's not like he wouldn't still go off the dribble sometimes, then maybe that would just be the way to do it, and then you just have the shot hierarchy and the ball handling stuff just go to the other guys. If we look at this team's future in terms of salary and all that, I'm going to assume Mike Conley will accept his option. It's an early termination option. And then it would get kind of interesting, because I wonder, assuming you can trade somebody who accepted an early termination option, I don't really know the logistics of that versus a player option, but would they move him, and would he be an asset because of his expiring contract? Would some other team be like, yeah, we can take him on and we can get off of some money, and maybe the Jazz will get one guy back who's good? It would probably have to be 2 players, like one guy you don't really care for and another one who can actually help you out, and you're fine taking on potentially extra years of salary for it. I don't know. Maybe you just stick it out with Conley all the way to the end. It's really surprising stuff, man, that Mike Conley has potentially his best season with the Grizzlies, and then falls off to, like, what does this even compare to? Like, his rookie season or something? Like, the dude's efficiency has been terrible this year. Like, he's got a, 51% true shooting after being one of the more efficient guys for a decent couple of years. I don't know. It's weird stuff, man. And that's what happens sometimes.